Hey guys, I just wanted to step in for a bit and I just wanted to talk to you guys about student behavior documentation and how crucial and important that is. Many of us, all of us, have probably dealt with difficult children in our classrooms, and you're just like frustrated and you're just defeated. You know, dealing with a difficult student can be mentally draining and exhausting. Trust me, I know. It can be very difficult to deal with those behaviors and those, not even just physical behaviors, but emotional behaviors. I can remember I had a kid that would cry all the time about little things, and then it went from crying to the anger, and it was a lot. And I know many of us deal with that. And I know I was always taught to, you know, when a student misbehaves that day, the next day they start off with you with a clean slate. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, that was so difficult for me to do in my beginning years, because you have a student that is possibly throwing chairs, talking back, being mean to other students, and you have to go home and then come back to work the next day and start that day off just happy, you know, okay, it's a new day. And I will be honest with you, that was hard for me to honestly do, because I just, you know, it's like when you argue with someone and you have disagreements and you're upset, and sometimes the next day you're still upset. You don't want to talk to them, you don't want to talk about it. And that's just kind of how I was, you know, as a beginning teacher. I would be upset and it would just be hard for me to really give a real smile to those kiddos, because I was just still kind of in my feelings. But that's what makes this job so, you know, rewarding, because you grow. Every year you grow in something. And I grew in that area as far as not taking it personal. I feel like a lot of times we take these things personal that these students do in our classroom, and you know, we just cannot let it go. We can't let it go. And once I realized that it's not me, and once I truly realized that it's their home environment, some of it is DNA, and a lot of it is just what they've seen, what they've been around, what they've dealt with, and I have to tell myself that it's not me. So that's why I'm not really a big fan of people who speak negatively about their students, because you don't know their story. And it's not about making an excuse. It's about finding a way to teach kids how to cope with things, because they're not getting it at home. I really truly believe in true love and compassion for kids. True love. You know, people say they do these things, they do bucket filling, they do this, they do that. But I mean truly do it. Like, if I was to come in your classroom and I was to ask you about that troubled kid, and I was to say, tell me 5 things you know about this kid. Not academically. I don't want to know about the academics right now. I just want to know personally. Give me 5 things. I'll even say give me 3 that you truly know about this kid that they love. Their favorite food, what they like to do, what keeps their interest, what are their hobbies, what makes them sad, what makes them happy, what makes them excited. Like, give me some things like that emotionally. I'm a very passionate teacher when it comes to building relationships with kids and just loving them. You know, a lot of times people say, well, how do you be a teacher? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, the first thing you do is you just love them. And then the second thing you do is you love them. And then the third thing you do is you love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. And eventually you're going to start seeing some changed behaviors, because that child's going to feel like, oh my gosh, I can trust you. I mean, I can speak facts. I mean, I can tell you some kids that have been woo, that I have had to deal with in my teaching experience. But when I stop taking things personal and stop being it's almost like angry teacher. Yeah, there's some behaviors you're just like, this doesn't make any sense. But guess what? Some of these kids are being raised, one, the best way that they can, their parents can, and guardians, because not all of our kids live with their biological parents. And then two, okay guys, my battery is about to go, so I'm about to change the battery, and I'm about to just get back on this little situation so I can help y'all. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that guys, battery. But anyway, like I was saying, like a lot of our kids are being raised by their, just by someone other than their biological parents. And those guardians and even parents that are doing the best that they can, they're doing the best that they can. And so I feel like my job as a teacher, like I'm gonna go above and beyond. There's, I know there's people that speak and say they don't agree with me, and that's fine. Everybody is entitled. Let's just specify that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. You can have your opinion, but this is my channel, so I'm going to express my opinion and how I feel and what I know has worked for me for 15 years. And so it's, to me, it's love. It's showing that you truly, truly care. I get a lot of emails, y'all, and people will say, well, Miss May, I tried this. And I'll say, well, how long have you tried it? Well, we did it for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Y'all don't understand. This is not a quick fix. Kids that are very angry and upset about something in their personal lives, they have these behaviors that they have developed over the years. It is not going to be a quick fix. But I tell you what's going to fix it though, is you being consistent in everything you do across the board. Being fair, and fair looks different, but being fair and just honestly not trying to embarrass a kid or make a kid feel like they're beneath you and they don't mean anything. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, love and building relationships is going to work. To me, the teacher that is being angry, and don't get me wrong, like I've been there. You get mad, you get upset, you're frustrated. Yes, I get that. But to me, the teachers that get upset and stay bitter and they talk about their students and they put their students' behavior all on blast, and you're talking about your kids, and like, to me, you need some love. Like, that teacher needs some love. That person needs some love. And to me, love will truly soften one's heart. Facts. Truly soften one's heart. So anyway, I'm kind of getting on like my little spill because I'm so passionate about building relationships with kids and showing them love, because a lot of people say, well, Miss May, what do I do? How do I teach? First of all, love. That should be your number one thing. Anything that you're do it with love for them. So anyway, okay, so the real reason why you're here. When you have a kid that has these extreme behaviors or behaviors that are just irritating, just being off task. I mean, it doesn't even have to be extreme, but behaviors that are affecting their learning and possibly other students' learning, you need to start having some documentation so that you can talk to a parent or guardian about this behavior that you're noticing, and talk to your principals and whoever else you may need to go to discuss this child. Because you can go to a principal, you can go to someone in your SPED department or your DIAC. You go in the building and say, look, I need help. I need help. Granted, they're probably going to listen to you, but at the same time, I guarantee you they're going to ask you, do you have documentation? Okay, what's your documentation? What are the behaviors that you're seeing a lot of? How long is this student not doing this? How long are they not doing that? What do they do? Are they better in the mornings or in the afternoon? And you can talk this good talk. You can just say these things, but if you don't have that documentation, I just feel like you're just setting yourself up to have a very hard year. So I came up with some documentation forms for you guys. They're totally free on my Teachers Pay Teacher store, and I hope like these can help you. And what I suggest is I would put a sheet on a clipboard and have it handy somewhere, you know, where it's not visible for the kids to look at and read, or even other staff members can look at and read. But it's just for you, for your documentation. And anytime you see that child being disrespectful or doing whatever, you have it on your clipboard. I know for me, my lesson plans, my team and I, we type up our lesson plans and I print them off on Sunday. They go on a clipboard. I would put that documentation sheet underneath my clipboard with my lesson plans. That's what I would do, because that clipboard is always with me throughout the day, always with me. And so anytime a behavior occurs, oh, I just get my clipboard out, you know, and jot down my notes. So I just want to show you guys the 3 different forms that I have, and then I'm going to show you how I kind of write down some information on the forms. So form 1 looks like this. Okay, this is form 1, and you can have the student's name, behavior, documentation, and then the date goes here, and then it goes through Monday through Friday, and you just fill in all the information. It's just like a blank, clean slate for you, okay? And you can just fill that out. Then you have another option that I have is this one, and when you look at this one, you will notice that there's a lighter gray and a darker gray. So the lighter gray means for morning behaviors that you notice, and the darker gray is for the afternoon. So you have that option. And then the last option you have is just the same form from right before. It's divided morning and afternoon, and it's just a plain white space for you where you can write your information in. What I would suggest too is like you could do a front to back, so that you could have 2 weeks, one on the front, a week on the front, and a week on the back, for whatever form you choose. Or you might have, you know, it front to back because you might have a lot of writing to do, and so it would just be for one day. So like Monday would be here, but hold on. So like you would have Monday here, but then when you flip it over on the back, there's Monday too. So you might need, you know, 2 pages for that. So I would just keep one of those forms on your clipboard with you, so that you can just quickly document. Now, what I did here is I just kind of showed you what the writing looks like. So the first document that I showed you, first of all, oh, and also, okay, so this is not a sponsored video, by the way, but I just really love, have y'all written with, y'all know I'm an InkJoy gel pen girl like no other, but these pens by Tull, let me see if I can get a close-up for y'all. These pens here, see if it'll focus. By Tull, y'all, whoa, they got that little click, but these write so good. Might be my new fave. Sorry, InkJoy, but they might be my new fave. But they come in a big pack like this. You can get them in a big pack like this. Tull, they're super, woo, they're gel, but they're not too jelly and they're not too dry either though. Just right. They remind me of InkJoy. Love them. So anyway, so I'm gonna show you the first form. This is the first form. And what I did is I just put ABC students form, and I just put the week of, and then here I just write down, you just write down the times and then the behaviors that you saw. So this is just your blank slate. So I just wrote an example for you. Here's Monday, here's Tuesday. So there's your blank slate if you choose that route. If you choose the gray, the light gray for morning, the dark gray for afternoon, this is what it looks like. So you have the morning, you're jotting down the time, and then the afternoon, you're jotting down the time. So I just kind of showed you an example of the two, but definitely write the times that you see the behaviors. And then lastly, just the plain white, where it's divided. Again, it's the same thing. I just put morning and afternoon. So that is my that's my start to trying to solve the problem that's going on in my classroom. Document behaviors that you are seeing. Put the timestamp on there and a quick brief what happened, what's going on, so that then when you have all this documentation for a while and you go to your people that you need to go to and say, look, this is what's going on. I mean, I would definitely first conference with the parent or guardian to just show them what's been occurring and what's happening, because that can be very eye-opening for them. Because sometimes, let's face it, parents, guardians, they can be in denial of some things. I mean, I get it. It's their baby. I get it. They can be in denial. However, having that documentation is so crucial for you. And then when you take it to, like, for instance, your principals, and they see that, it's kind of like, whoa, okay. And maybe, you know, they can sit down with you and discuss with you. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Start documenting those behaviors that you see. While you're documenting, don't give up on these kids. Please, 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 just start having lunch with them. I know people say, oh, having lunch, but you just don't know, like, how much that means to kids. And I'm not saying they have to, and I'm not meaning like have lunch because they're the star of the week or they're the firstie of the week. I'm saying, or because they bought so many tokens or whatever to eat lunch with you. I'm talking about just truly, genuinely just having lunch with these kids. Just because sometimes I'll just say, hey, you're having lunch with me today, you know, and kids are like, oh yes, oh yay. Like, truly, a lot of times kids just need somebody to talk to, just like us adults. They just need somebody to talk to. So keep track, document those behaviors that you see. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and let you know it's in my TPT store for free. Download, print as much as you need, and start documenting those behaviors so we can see, you know, is this a pattern that just goes on a lot in the morning? Is it more in the afternoon? Is it more during a certain time of the day, like during a certain subject area? It's good to see and notice when these behaviors occur. So that's just my little food for thought for you guys, and I hope everything is going well for you. And if not, just give it to God and let it go, and keep doing the best that you can do, because that's all you can do. That every single kid in our world is one caring adult away from being a success story. You may not be able to fix that kid during your time with that kid. You may not be able to solve all of it, but guess what? You're part of it. So instead of making it worse, let's make it better. So don't forget that, guys. Until next time, y'all know the routine. Don't forget to always pray, because God will truly always make a way. I love you guys. Have a fabulous week, a fabulous day, fabulous weekend, fabulous night. Whenever you are watching this, I hope things are fabulous. Mwah. Bye.